Phelps lashes out at failing USA swimming. With 28 Olympic medals in his trophy cabinet, the most decorated athlete in history needs no introduction. Yet he recently felt the need to speak out once again, as he accused his nation's swimming program of deficiencies and warns that, given the status, he does not want his kids to follow suit. Well known, well admired, well feared in the pool. But for those who are unaware, Michael Phelps is the American swimmer who rewrote Olympic history. With 28 medals to his name, 23 of them gold. The Baltimore Shark, as he was nicknamed for being as ruthless as he was lethal in the 50 meters pool at the beginning of the century, also holds the record for the most medals in men's events and is, for many, the greatest Olympic athlete of all time. This explains why the surname Phelps no longer belongs solely to his family tree. Through hard work, he earned his place in the pantheon of world sport, belonging to a dynasty of chosen ones. As with names such as Jordan, Bolt, Messi, Ronaldo, or Ali, among others, just mentioning his name evokes greatness and a golden era. At the 2016 Rio Games, he bid farewell with 6 more medals around his neck. He now stands as a definitive icon in the discipline and an inspiration to athletes everywhere. This role extends into his entrepreneurial efforts, which he synergizes with the work of the Michael Phelps Foundation. Established in 2008, the foundation promotes swimming and wellness, and he further amplifies its message through a rigorous schedule of motivational speaking. That is why when these heroes speak, their words often fall like a judge's gavel delivering a sentence. An almost luminous prestige sets them apart, honoring achievements born of both ability and dedication. Despite his absence from the limelight, since retiring after the Brazil Olympics, Phelps remains a vocal critic of injustice from time to time, wielding the significant influence of his voice with purpose. Besides that, his life has been quiet. He deliberately maintains a lower profile than he did at the zenith of his athletic fame. A life of golf, family talks. What every legend does when they want to escape the media storm, tranquility. Nevertheless, recently, an inner fire compelled him to react. A master of calm and composure, far from his usual idiosyncrasy, he launched a surprising attack on American swimming last week. He even declared that he does not want his children to follow in his footsteps. Such an attack, emanating from a figure of this stature, is powerful enough to send shockwaves through the international sport community. Actually, USA still topped the medal table at last year's Olympic Games in Paris with a total of 28 medals, including 8 golds, leaving Australia out of the running with 19, 7 golds. A feat they would repeat at the recent World Championships in Singapore, bringing home 32, 9 more than last year. Phelps said the team's poor results over the past decade were proof of how disorganized the discipline had become in the U.S. There have always been cracks in the system, but over the past 9 years I have seen those cracks grow. The former athlete posted on his Instagram. In 2016, I had the honor of being part of the American swimming team in Rio, possibly the most successful in the history of the sport, and we won 57% of the medals we had the opportunity to win. 8 years later, in Paris, the U.S. roster secured only 44% of the medals it had the opportunity to win in the pool, the lowest percentage seen in the sport since the 1988 Olympics. The champion continued. Australia, 40, China, 18, and Canada, 14, have been some of the main beneficiaries in the medal distribution in recent editions of the Games. In the long shadow of the post-Phelps era, the American giant's faltering form in the pool has only magnified the chasm left by its departed icon. However, the aforementioned new powerhouses are not the only ones, as new powers have begun to emerge, such as the United Kingdom and France, which managed to scrape together almost 20 between them in Tokyo and Paris. Yet Phelps said that the problems go beyond the number of medals won and lost. I've asked myself what has changed in our sport, and the answer is clear, he reflected, before concluding. This isn't the fault of the athletes, who continue to give their all with what they've been given. The blame lies with the leadership of USA Swimming. Poor leadership trickles down and can damage the organization at every level. Phelps, the prodigy who burst onto the scene at 15 in Sydney 2000 and went on to compete in 5 Olympic Games, has not become a sudden, impulsive, and acute judge of his sport. The greatest of all time has effectively long been using his platform to campaign for better treatment of swimmers in need. It is far from the first time he has spoken out against what he sees as unfair practices. In December 2024, he took aim at the United States Olympic Committee, urging them to provide stronger mental health support and accusing them of failing him when he began to struggle with anxiety and depression. I walked into the training rooms at the U.S. Olympic Committee and received no care. Athletes must come first, Phelps said on NBC. Without a doubt, Organizations like the USOP have taken steps in the right direction to provide the help and care we need as athletes, but they are not doing everything they could, and that worries me. To reach the summit, swimmers must endure punishing training regimes and stick to strict diets to keep their weight down, often for relatively modest financial reward, at least when compared with other sports. The physical and mental toll at elite level is immense, and it shows. It is not unusual to see competitors break down in tears after their races, whether they touch the wall first or finish at the back. Phelps has spoken candidly about his own battles with depression and moments of self-destructive thoughts, and he has never shied away from demanding that the sports administrators do far more to safeguard the well-being of its athletes. In an interview with Healthline a few years ago, he opened up about his demons and the weight of fame he carried at an early age. After winning 6 gold medals and 2 bronze medals at the Athens Olympics, the anxiety and suicidal thoughts he had lived with since childhood resurfaced and led to a feeling of deep emptiness. You work so hard for 4 years to get to that point, and then it's like you're at the top of the mountain, and you ask yourself, what the hell am I supposed to do now? Where am I supposed to go? Who am I? He described. This phenomenon is hardly an exclusively American concern, though. Other swimming powerhouses, including Australia, have acknowledged deep flaws in their systems, ranging from shocking cases of abuse against female athletes to ongoing struggles with mental health. Nonetheless, returning to the American borders, where Phelps is focusing his attention, there is much work ahead, according to the 40-year-old former swimmer. Earlier this year, incoming chief executive Chrissy Rawak resigned after only 9 days in the role, following the surfacing of a previously undisclosed safe sport complaint from her coaching days. The U.S. Center for Safe Sport itself, the body responsible for investigating such allegations, has been mired in turmoil. Its own chief executive was dismissed amid scrutiny of hiring practices, which included the appointment of an investigator later charged with multiple sexual offenses such as rape, sex trafficking, and soliciting prostitution. Experts have long warned of a damaging code of silence within the sport, a culture where those who speak out are often suppressed. As reported by Code Sports, Phelps himself has not escaped the fallout, nor is he the only voice calling for reform. His decorated former teammate Ryan Lochte and 1984 Olympic champion Rowdy Gaines also pointed to the squad's ongoing troubles. During their stint in Singapore, though USA Swimming bristled at the criticism, we are saddened and disappointed by the timing of these comments. The U.S. swimming team was battling a serious illness in Singapore, and this only added public scrutiny to an already difficult situation for our athletes and coaches, the federation responded. Beyond the immediate controversy, the Baltimore Bullet made clear that his concerns extend to the deeper structural issues within the discipline, particularly the pressure placed on athletes to keep quiet and not disrupt the status quo. I spent most of my life inside a system that was meant to support us. I gave everything, yet too often I felt my voice was ignored. I was told I should just be grateful for the chance to compete, that keeping quiet and maintaining peace mattered more, he reflected in his lengthy, heartfelt statement. Although, not before leaving a clear message, I still care and I'm not ready to give up, in order to give the accurate punchline before concluding. My door is open and there is work to be done. His words mirror frustrations voiced by swimmers from other nations over the years, yet this time, people are listening. With Phelps widely tipped as a favorite to light the cauldron at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics, the debate will only intensify. The 23-time gold medalist is sounding the alarm on drift and weak leadership. Governance failures and a checkered record on athlete protection, he warns, could cost the United States far more than a place on the podium at LA 28. 3 years from now, the Olympic swimming program will unfold over 9 days and nights on a stage like no other, a pool purpose-built inside Inglewood's SoFi Stadium. The $5 billion, for €0.5 billion, home of the NFL's Rams and Chargers will be transformed into a vast open-air aquatic arena seating 38,000 spectators, the largest swimming venue in Olympic history. For the U.S., this should be a crowning moment, a chance to display its unrivaled depth of talent on the grandest platform the nation has ever built. Yet Phelps still fears USA Swimming may not be ready to rise to the occasion. SoFi may promise the most spectacular setting Olympic swimming has ever known. Whether the host nation, the ever-feared powerhouse, can deliver on it, however, remains an open question.